Hey guys, it's LSuperSonicQ here with a surprise episode of the In-Depth series. So, originally I was going to film an episode with a different series of clay, but I want that episode to be the 36th episode, and we're only at 35, so I had to film something to get to 36, and I decided to do the Sonic Drift 2 set, because while I have shown off the set as a whole in some other models and other videos, I've never talked about it as a whole in an in-depth series episode. I think it would be interesting to do so because I doubt the set's going to get finished anytime soon, and it's kind of in limbo / cancelled, so it would be interesting to talk about. Also, if you're watching this in a timely manner, then this Friday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. on my channel, we're going to do another live stream, so just stop by for 5 minutes if you want to, or stay for the whole stream, ask a question, chat about whatever, and we'll have a good time. So that's happening, just so you guys know. Alright, so pretty much the Sonic Drift 2 set. Now, this set started way back in 2000... It was either 2009 or 2010. It may have been 2010. And it was kind of the last Sonic set that I really went try-hard on. Like, if you guys remember the Sonic the Fighter set, and the Sonic R set, and the Sonic 1 diorama sets, all those sets were really, like, you know, were really big, and had a lot of different variety, and a lot of color, a lot of characters, things like that. And the Sonic Drift 2 set was kind of supposed to be that, but it was at such a weird time where I was focusing efforts from that type of clay to the painted sculptures and other characters that I hadn't sculpted at all up to this point. You know, I was kind of not feeling the whole Sonic thing. And that's kind of why this set is in limbo, and it just stayed in limbo because I never bothered to pick it back up. So all that we're left with is 5 characters and a car, which the car is holding some pieces and parts to other clay figures, and I think one of the wheels broke off anyway, so I'm not going to show the car today, but just the characters. So we'll start off with Sonic, who was the first one to the set. So to this day, I still think this you know, what I finished of this set was probably one of the best, if not the best, like, set of pre-colored Sonic clay figures. They're all the characters are looking really good. So this Sonic, obviously, he was good enough to be featured in my Sonic 25th Anniversary Tribute. I called him an evolution point because, yeah, he's pretty evolutionary for the time. Just, I mean, you know, the clay, just the colored clay, is really clean, and his pose is very clean. He's not messy looking or anything. His spikes are very neat as well, and, you know, it's kind of like an original pose. Well, not original, it's based on the game's artwork, but, you know, it's like, it's based on the artwork, I think is what I'm trying to say. So, it's a really solid Sonic, especially for the time, and considering that I, you know, haven't really sculpted a pre-colored clay Sonic since this one, or at least one that I would consider to be, you know, of this caliber. So the face is really good too. I like that. Like I said, just very clean, very overall, very neat and clean. So the next character I sculpted for the set was Fang. Now, I've actually shown this Fang a couple times, but I never actually talked about it. So I think another reason why this set kind of faded into obscurity is because of the characters. Like, I did Sonic first, you know, huge fan of Sonic himself, and then, you know, Fang. Fang is an obscure and cool character. Anyway, I was left with Metal Sonic and Amy, who never ended up being made for the set, and I'm not a fan of Amy at all, and I think Metal Sonic intimidated me. So that's why these 5 were sculpted and not the other 2. But anyway, this Fang, like I said with Sonic, Fang is really clean. The purple, I really like the purple. It looks really good, especially since the other Fangs I've sculpted have been this kind of off light purple, and that's not really the color of the character, so I think I captured it really well here. His nose is black, which I think it looks black in the artwork, but I'm guessing it's blue because he probably doesn't change his nose color from series to series, so maybe I did that just so it looked more like the box art. And the only thing I don't really like is, like, his hands, because they're supposed to be cross-armed, but they look really weird. You know, it's just, I don't know. But other than that, I mean, it's a great Fang. The face, again, is really good. The hat is really good. And all these are kind of angled, like I said, to replicate the box art. So, like, if you look at him from this angle, he doesn't look good. You gotta look at him from the front. But really good stance, really good size. Oh, the tail, too. Forgot about Fang's tail. Yeah, and he has his other ear behind his hat. It's a really good model. And they're all fairly well in scale, for the most part. So the next character... Oh, man, I should not have picked Sonic up. So the next character I want to talk about is, I believe Eggman was sculpted next. So this is a pretty good Eggman. He doesn't have his cape. It's the first thing I have to point out. He doesn't have his cape because I didn't really acknowledge the fact that classic Eggman has a cape. But anyway, this Eggman's pretty good. I'm trying to just look back at my clay. I guess like the Sonic, I just haven't really sculpted a whole lot of really good classic Eggman, so this one is probably the best one I've sculpted. There are a few things I would kind of change a little bit, though. I don't know, the mustache to me just, it looks good, but I feel like it's just a little too wavy, a little too disproportionate, so maybe I could make it a little more symmetrical. And I don't like how, like, his arm is like, I don't remember in the artwork if it's actually curved like this or if it's supposed to be straight, but I've always thought that was kind of weird, especially without his car. It looks just kind of weird to see. But again, you know, he's clean, the proportion is good, his legs are skinny, which is a plus that I was able to make him stand with such skinny legs. So a toothpick will do for you, so I'll get some toothpicks and use those to sculpt with. But I mean, yeah, overall it's a nice looking model. You know, I mean, even without the cars and stuff, these are still nice looking models. Just the pose is a little weird one. You know, you're like, well, what's Eggman doing? But I mean, you know. So next, I believe, was Knuckles, I think. Oh, I thought he was breaking a little bit. But anyway, yeah, so this Knuckles, I think without a doubt, is probably the best pre-colored Knuckles I've ever sculpted. And this was, I mean, I took my time for, like, all the characters in the set in general, but I remember this Knuckles specifically, because he was going to be challenging, and I wanted to get it as close to the artwork as I could. So this Knuckles might be debatably the best figure from this set. And I really do like the face. I think it looks almost identical to the, you know, to the box art. And his pose isn't even that weird, I guess, without the car. But he has all 7 dreadlocks, I believe. And they're all proportioned. They all look good. They wrap around his head correctly. He has his tail, which is really thin. I'm not sure if I glued it. I may have glued it, but I'm not... Maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. But it's really thin, so I'm surprised I bothered to make it that thin and that it, you know, didn't break off by now, to be honest. And his knuckles are really good. Got the spikes on there and stuff. Just a really solid model. His shoe did, I think it kind of cracked or something. I'm not really sure how that happened, but I guess I tried to fix it to some extent, and it, I guess, is still noticeably broken, but it's on there, so a really nice looking Knuckles. I like this guy a lot. So that's really cool. And then the final character is Tails. I probably just repeating myself at this point, but again, he's actually, maybe he's not the best. I was going to say probably the best pre-colored Tails, but maybe he's not. I can think of one other one that might be better. But he's still really good nonetheless, and still really, you know, clean, as I've said, for all the characters. I do think he is pretty reflective of his box art, though. I just think there's something about Tails that's kind of like Yoshi, in the sense that Tails is so simple, but it's in that simplicity that you tend to notice all the little things you got wrong. Like, just looking at the face is good, don't get me wrong, but I can kind of tell that, like, classic Tails has a certain look. He has, like, really big, you know, eyes, and then his pupils are kind of small and in the middle, and that didn't really happen with this model, but that's okay. He has a little buckle on his shoe, though, and yeah, he kind of has, like, his hands behind him like he does in the artwork, and his tails are looking pretty good. I guess they kind of curve up, which is good. And he has his 3 hairs, which I think did break at one point, but I actually glued them, so I'm glad I cared that much to keep these guys in as best shape as they could be. So, I guess Tails you can kind of view at more than one angle a little bit, because his face is kind of... Yeah, you know, I guess there's nothing really on Tails that you would have to view at... Or same with Knuckles, I guess, that you would have to view at one angle, but for Fang and Sonic. So maybe the set unintentionally shifted to this more three-dimensional look instead of the flat 2D characters as Fang and Sonic kind of showcased. But with that said, that's pretty much the Sonic Drift 2 set. I'm not sure if it'll ever get finished, like I said. I kind of want to hope that it will someday, but Sonic was made in 2010, and I think Knuckles and Tails, they must have been made in 2012, no later. So over the course of 2 years, I was able to get these done, and now it's like 2016, so I don't know if I would ever revisit this set, to be honest. I think it's more about, like, you know, keeping this set, you know, in its time, more than actually me deciding to just finish it. But I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Look back at some more kind of lesser known of my Sonic sculptures. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'm LSuperSonicQ, and until the next video, Finn.